Hey guys, welcome to the Trumpet Update. It is Tuesday, June 15th as of the recording of this video. Big news today was my final lesson with Matthew Ernst, the principal trumpet of the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra. I started the Trumpet Update when I started studying with him, I believe, which was it's been over a year now, probably close to a year and a half of studying with him, and it's just been absolutely fantastic. I want to mention briefly a little bit about last Sunday, the 6th of June. I performed in a recital, which I talk a little bit about in my final vlog of the Gap Year series. A little bit of me playing is in there as well if you're interested in checking that out. But anyways, that was a kind of like my final project or final grade or whatever. Nothing was graded or anything, but that was kind of like the thing I was working towards over the last little bit of me studying with him. And it went really well. It was cool. We played. He had two other students, a high school student and then a student who's kind of like a freelancer in Milwaukee area. And it was really cool getting to meet them and play in a couple quartets we did with the three of us and then Matt. And they both played a solo, and then I played a solo as well as I played a duet with Matt. I played Calls and Echoes by Vern Reynolds. My battery's gonna die, so 1 second. Alright, I'm back. And I also played Caprice by Joseph Turin with Matt's wife, Jana, and that was an excellent performance, I thought. The duet didn't go as well for me, which is a bummer, but it wasn't embarrassingly bad. It just wasn't the strongest I played it. I was kind of nervous playing too, but once I got into the solo, it normally happens like that for me. I get really nervous when I start, but then once I get into it, I'm like, oh yeah, I know how to play the trumpet. And then everything's totally fine. So yeah, the solo went really well. Lauren took a video, and that's what's on that vlog I mentioned earlier. Matt is going to send me, he has a recording, he has like a Zoom H4n, or the one with the video and the microphone. I don't like the video on that one as much, it's not as nice, but he'll be sending that to me. I probably won't post it or anything. Maybe I will if it sounds really good, but I don't know, it depends on the video and stuff, but I'd post that on my other channel. But anyways, it'll probably just be for me, just for the memories. But yeah, anyways, that went really well. I'm very happy with that performance, and I think that was an excellent showing of where I was as a player. Lauren and my parents came to see me. It was just in his house, so really cool. Nice atmosphere. We hung out a little bit at the end with everybody, and it was a really good time, and it was a nice little cap on the end. So today was just kind of like a bonus lesson. I played like Charlie A12 for him, and so just some excerpts. She did some excerpt coaching with me, did some section playing stuff, which I need to work on a little bit. I don't play section parts very often, and that shows. When I was playing with him, I was like, oh my gosh. Now, I'm going to blame part of that also on not really playing with people for like a year because of the pandemic, but that is not a big enough excuse to how poorly I played section parts. I like playing the first parts, but anyways, part of that because it's more fun, and part of it's because I'm not a very good section player. But anyways, we did a lot of that stuff. We didn't make it too sappy. I brought him a gift just because he's done so much for me over the past like year and a half, and even before that when I was just kind of studying with him here and there. Really transformative in my playing, and I can honestly say that without Matt, I would not be going to the Cleveland Institute of Music this coming fall. Still crazy to think that I'm moving to Cleveland in a few months here to go study with Michael Sachs and be part of one of the best music schools in the country. Still can't believe it, honestly. It's so cool. But anyways, where was I getting off on? Matt Ernst. It's disappointing that I wasn't able to really hear him perform too often. That was the original plan, was to, come to Milwaukee Symphony concerts and study with him as well, but it didn't happen because of the pandemic. The Milwaukee Symphony wasn't really playing. Now they are again, but I'm not, it's just for their subscription members and stuff, but they'll be back next year, and I'm hoping to visit him, in December when I'm on break, or if nothing else, for sure next summer I'll at least see him once or something. I have his trumpet. He's letting me use his E-flat trumpet for the next year, so I will for sure be seeing him at least one more time to return that whenever that is. So it's just, Matt is he was so generous with his time and just with me in generally, like letting me use his trumpet for however long I need to, within reason, I'm sure. But I also think back to just all of the extra time he put in for me when we were going through the graduate application process. I applied to 7 schools, and he had to write me a letter of recommendation for all 7 schools, along with Brent Turney, my former teacher, who I appreciate all of his work with me as well. But through the whole audition process, Matt also listened to hours of mock auditions, which was getting annoying towards the very end, but I'm glad he pushed me to put my best effort forth with all those videos. But I would record almost every single day and send him clips, and he would listen to them and say, nope, not good enough, or yep, you can send this one, so on and so forth. Just, I can't even, thank him enough for all of that, as well as keeping me longer in lessons. I pay him for 1.5 hour lessons, and I don't even know how many times we went to like 2 hours, just because I had questions, and he was always so helpful with answering any questions that I had, and he's just such a great role model for me, not just with trumpet stuff, but also with life. And I was thinking, it stinks because I only got to study with him for 1.5 years, because there was so much more I could have gotten from him. I'm excited to go to Cleveland and move on with graduate school and stuff, but it's just, I wish I had more time with him. I was thinking back to last year when I didn't get into grad school through no one's fault but my own. But I'm really glad that I didn't, for a number of reasons. The pandemic, obviously, I'm glad I didn't pay so much money to get virtual lessons and all that stuff. And also, I wouldn't have had the chance to study with Matt Ernst, and now I can have him on my resume, and I can have him as a mentor and friend. And I'm just, it's everything always happens for a reason, and you just got to trust that. So Matt is just such a genuine, generous guy. I have nothing but good things to say about him, and I look forward to, transitioning from, student to, we're not quite colleagues yet, but we're somewhere in the middle of that. Give me 10 years and maybe we'll be colleagues by then. But mentor, he will be for the rest of my life. I've no doubt about that, and I look forward to, keeping in contact with him for forever. He's just such a great, genuine guy, and he can play the trumpet pretty well too, obviously. But I'm sure I'm forgetting a lot of stuff. But just I can't say enough good things about everything I've learned from him. And I was going to say, my trumpet playing changed a lot in the past year, and everything he taught me was very influential, and I feel like technically I'm a better trumpet player, sound-wise I'm a better trumpet player, all that stuff, of course. But the main thing I was thinking about that has changed for me is just my standards of playing. And you can really hear that in my Trumpet Challenges videos, that I have very, very high standards for myself now, more so than I did when I was at Stevens Point. And that's nothing against the college or Brent Turney or anything at all. It's just a different standard of playing that Matt brought me to. You know, every lesson that I went to him, you know, he was always striving for perfection. He was, as a player, and he always has, you know, like, he doesn't accept anything less than perfection. Obviously, we're trumpet players. We're never going to reach it, but, you know, I can't even tell you how many times, you know, he wasn't happy with how he played something for me when he was demonstrating, and I'm sitting over here like, holy crap, that sounded amazing. You know, like, it's just that standard that he has for himself that he also put on me, but it was more me looking at what he puts his standards to, so I can understand, okay, this is what it takes to be one of the top trumpet players in the country, which he is. And just, you know, so much of what I learned from him wasn't from what he taught me, it was from what I observed him doing in his own practice. Again, it would have been cooler if I could have seen him, you know, more as he was preparing to play and stuff. It was kind of a weird year for him too, because he, you know, he didn't have to be necessarily in as good of shape as he was normally and all that stuff too. But, you know, just the level that he expected of himself, and just seeing that as he's teaching me and stuff really opened my eyes. If I can give you who are watching any advice, one thing I've learned through all of the teachers I've had is I always like to obviously take whatever they're teaching you and, you know, play this or blah, 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 all that trumpet stuff. But if you always, first of all, always get a teacher who you would like to be like. I mean, if you don't look at your teacher like, oh, wow, this is a successful person that I want to be like, don't study with them, because that's a bad idea, because you're going to pull things from everyone you study, which I think is really cool. But I keep getting off on tangents. But if you're studying with someone, not only listen to what they are saying as teachers, but also how they act and who they are as people and how they hold themselves. It's just, you know, you learn so much, not only by what they say, but also by what they do and how they are, you know? And I can't say how lucky I've been with all of the teachers in my life. The main three teachers that, you know, I idolize and would like to be like one day are Brent Turney, my undergraduate teacher. Again, nothing but good things to say about him. I have to meet up with him at some point this summer. You know, just one of the hardest working people I know. I learned a lot from him about being an entrepreneur as well. And there's just so much that I can say about Brent Turney too. The other teacher in my undergraduate degree, Matthew Bookman, and he, more than both, the third is Matthew Ernst, the guy who I've been talking about this whole video. But Matthew Bookman, my jazz teacher, I'm not really going the jazz route, and all that stuff was important stuff. But him in particular, I learned the most of how he acts as a person, and, you know, his ridiculous work ethic, sometimes too much so, I think. But he's another person who I just look up to so much. And there are others, Dr. Michael Butler. I look up to him for his work ethic as well. There's just so many great teachers, but as far as like private teachers that I've worked with, it's those three. And Matthew Ernst has had such an impact on me, and I think this is a real, you know, switch for my playing. And I think, you know, studying with Michael Sachs next, one of the greatest trumpet players who has ever lived, will be very very influential. I can't say anything because I've only taken one lesson with him before, and it was great. But I'm not gonna say anything further than that. I will, I'm sure, talk about it a little bit here as I continue doing these trumpet updates. But anyways, this video was dedicated to Matthew Ernst, one of the most influential people in my life, and I can't wait to see as our relationship continues to grow, and I'm sure I will keep up with him. I'll text him, you know, how Cleveland's going. Hey, Mike Sachs just chewed me out or whatever. I'm sure that'll come up, but I'm really looking forward to just you know, being more of a friend to him than a student, but always keeping him as a mentor, because I've said it a million times, but he has been very, very influential in my life. And like I said, I was not the same player I was a year ago. I have improved exponentially, and a lot of that was because of him. You know, I put in the work, but he told me what to do, and I followed what he said. So anyways, thank you so much, Matt, if you're watching this ever in the future. But yeah, so anyways, this is the end of Trumpet update for a while, probably for a few months. I might do one as like a wrap up for summer or something, kind of say what I did over the summer. But as far as more regular, the next big thing is moving out to Cleveland, so I'm sure I'll have one more in like September, so it's going to be a little bit of a break before my next one here. But this has been a fun journey. I look forward to looking back on these with, you know, nostalgia and, you know, all that stuff. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you like the video, thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and bell notifications so you don't miss any other videos with me. And I will see you on the next Trumpet update.